Everyone, Bitcoin took a wild ride the last 24 hours in response to the tariffs that were announced on Canada and Mexico and China, etc. So let's talk about why that was. First of all, it was completely irrational. There's no reason that tariffs would directly affect Bitcoin, and it took the marketplace less than 24 hours to figure that out. That's why after crashing about 10% in a very short period of time, Bitcoin and most everything else recovered very quickly. So why did it do that? Well, two reasons. One, humans are irrational. When humans are scared, they are irrational. Tariffs are bad for economic growth for everybody. Tariffs hurt everybody. They generally are just a bad policy. And the stock market and any other investment assets don't like it when, things are done that are bad for economic activity. So people get scared because tariffs are bad for economic activity. But they act irrationally. Bitcoin is not the thing you should sell if you're scared. If you're scared, you should sell stuff that is impacted by tariffs, which Bitcoin is not. But when people are scared, they act irrationally. A good example of this was the toilet paper shortage during COVID. COVID has nothing to do with your digestive system. You do not use more toilet paper if you get COVID. But people were scared. And instead of Googling, should I buy toilet paper? They just bought toilet paper and there was a massive shortage, even though it was completely unrelated to COVID. And COVID had no effects whatsoever on a human's need for toilet paper. It was just completely irrational. But people were scared and they did irrational things. So the same is true here. Tariffs are announced and people sell Bitcoin and it makes absolutely no sense. But, cooler heads prevail. And within, a matter of hours, the price is back to where it was before. Or close to it. The second reason is Bitcoin trades 24/7 in all currencies worldwide. It's the only asset that does to the same degree. Which means if tariffs are announced over a weekend, which they were, you can't sell stocks because the stock market is closed. You can't sell bonds because the bond market is closed. You can't sell anything else. So if somebody is panicking and they're going to be, majorly impacted by these tariffs because they maybe are in auto manufacturing and the tariffs apply to them or something like that, they freak out and they want to sell something to feel better. And they can't sell their stocks. There's nothing else they can sell. So people sell things when they're scared, which is irrational. And even if they're being completely rational, they sell what they can sell. And because Bitcoin trades 24/7, which is a huge advantage, you can use Bitcoin anytime, day or night, anywhere in the world, in any currency. But that also means that when people freak out and want to sell something and it's a weekend and there's nothing else they can sell, well, they're going to sell some Bitcoin. So thankfully, the price dipped. It was short-lived. It was short-lived because a bunch of smart people bought it while it was down because they understood that the tariffs had absolutely nothing to do with Bitcoin. And the same reason I was buying a bunch of Bitcoin in 2022 when FTX blew up. Sam Bankman-Fried, the whole thing was a scam, or not all of it was a scam, but there was huge amounts of fraudulent activity related to FTX. And I knew that it had nothing to do with Bitcoin. Most people didn't know that. And so the price of Bitcoin was down for no good reason. So some people were selling, but people like me were buying because we understood that it had nothing to do with Bitcoin. Same thing here. The price dipped, but everybody who understands that tariffs have nothing to do with Bitcoin was buying the Bitcoin that the scared and panic selling people were selling. And as a result of that, the price came right back up. So the price is still, as of this exact moment, below $100,000 per coin. It continues to strike me as a fantastic time to buy Bitcoin. And as Warren Buffett would say, be greedy when other people are scared and be scared when other people are greedy. Well, the marketplace is pretty scared right now, and therefore the price is lower than it would otherwise be, which is a great time to buy Bitcoin. So, as always, if you want to know what's happening in the world of Bitcoin, you can just Google the word Bitcoin. And if you only want to see news articles that are related to what happened in the last 24 hours, just change the advanced search options on Google to only show you search results from the last 24 hours. Or if you only want to see the last week, change it to only the last week. And you'll only see news items from the last week or the last 24 hours or whatever you see it. And the news headlines do a pretty good job of telling you why Bitcoin is doing what it's doing. And so if you do that, you'll find out that it is 100% due to tariffs. And as a result of that, the broader stock market is down. And, I presume it will come back up at some point as well, because most of the market is not directly impacted by tariffs, even though tariffs overall are just bad policy and, bad for everyone. They're bad for some people more than others, but they're generally bad for everyone. So anyway, stay safe out there. Always a good scam reminder that Coinbase and Google and BitKey will never call you. If you ever get a call by someone claiming to be me or BitKey or Coinbase or Google, it's a scam unless it's me and you asked me to call you. If you asked me to call you, then I will call you. But if you did not ask me to call you, I'm never going to just call you out of the blue. So anyway, and nobody should ever ask you for your two-factor authentication codes, which is the six-digit code that they text to your phone when you log into an account like Google or Coinbase or something like that. Nobody will ever ask you for that code unless they're a scammer. And nobody will ever ask you for your passwords unless they're a scammer. And nobody will ever send you a link asking you to log in to Coinbase or anywhere else with your username and password unless it's a scam. So stay safe out there, stay humble, and continue to buy as much Bitcoin as you can, because it strikes me as a great time to buy Bitcoin, and I'm always here for absolutely anything you need. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks.